Did you hear about the movie If coming out?
Yeah. We saw a
Uh,
trailer of it. It was the one with John. Well, no, it was the one that John Krasinski is directing.
yeah, And it
But he's
has
not in it.
no, he's not. He has it's Ryan Reynolds and what the hell is his name? Michael Scott from The Office. Michael. That's I
Oh,
just gonna say his name is Michael Scott.
I don't
Um,
know his real name.
it's I literally know it. I just don't know it right now. It's like it's S something.
Oh, yes. Yes.
You know who I'm talking about though, right?
Yeah. No,
It's
yeah,
like
I know. But
Steven. I don't
yeah.
Steve Carell, cause no.
It's,
Carell.
Carell, yeah.
Carell. Okay. I think we were saying it wrong either way, but we're just gonna
But
carry
whatever.
on. Yeah. I'm honestly not excited. I really could care less about that movie, just simply because like the actors are really interesting, but that trailer just does not grab me, and I don't think I'm the target audience.
Yeah, I don't think the trailer was like really interesting. I think the idea is kind of interesting, but just kind of the way they're going about it, it seems like a movie that like would be produced by a studio that doesn't have that big of a budget that ends up producing just like poopy movies for like kids.
I was actually gonna disagree because at least from the trailer, the like I don't know if it's CGI. I don't think it's CGI that they're using, at least for the characters I'm
I
talking
think it's
about.
like animation probably.
Yeah, right. It looks kind of like highly produced.
No, I didn't mean highly, I didn't mean like badly produced
Oh,
for
okay,
like
okay.
the animation, more so just like
The
the
story.
general movie. Yeah, like the storyline, it doesn't seem like it's very like well made. It just seems like it's one of those cash grab movies for little kids. Like, you know, Lao Lao Crocodile or something like that?
Yes, yes, with Shawn Mendes.
Yes, it gives that.
Why
That's what it
was he
gives.
casted as Lyle the crocodile? I haven't seen the movie. I've just only seen like little bits on TikTok, and it's just him like singing riffs.
Yeah.
It's so funny. But yeah, I don't know if I'm really excited for that movie. I love John Krasinski. Like I want to see more of his directorial like stuff, but I don't care about this movie at all. Like
I've never seen The Quiet Place, but I know he
what?
directed. Yeah.
They're pretty decent. I wouldn't say they're like good, but they're like a decent like story, and he created the story and directed it and acts in it. So it's like
Yeah, that's crazy.
you gotta give credit where credit is due because that's a lot of work.
Yeah.
But you know what movie I am really excited about? I don't know if you've heard of it because I sat down and watched a whole, well, I didn't watch the whole thing, but it was a trailer video where it's like movies coming out in 2024 and it just plays the whole trailer for like every movie. A movie called Civil War.
Oh,
Does it ring a
yes.
bell? Yes, by
Is it
A24.
A24? Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
I saw that because the name caught me like obviously caught my attention, but I was thinking Civil War in terms of like superheroes. I'm not gonna sit here and lie because of the Marvel. But when I sat down and watched the trailer, I was like, this seems like a really interesting movie. Like I really want to see it for real. But other than that, I really don't know any other movies that are like coming out.
Um, well, but like going back to that Civil War one,
Mm.
I've seen because they were showing like the map or whatever of what the United States looks like in that movie. And like I remember people were just kind of like talking shit about it because they were saying like, oh, that's not how it would be in real life. But the point is like it's not necessarily supposed to be real life. Like that's a movie. Things
Yeah,
are gonna be different. Like they're not gonna be exactly how
accurate.
they would be in real life. Um, but I still think it's like interesting because they have like the Republic of like Texas or whatever, something like that.
Something that really got me in the trailer was one of the characters is like, there must be some mistake, like we're American. And then the guy,
Oh
he's wearing
yeah.
like the camo suit, he's like, what type of American are you?
Yeah.
And he's like, you don't know? That was fire. Like, I'm not gonna lie, that really caught me. And I was
Yeah.
like, oh, this is because obviously these type of movies have been coming out. They're like very well, they've always been coming out, but they're like comments on our society, and I'm definitely sure that that's what this movie is headed
Yeah.
for. Like, you just don't do that subject matter without, like pointing at things that are happening in real life. But I'm really excited. I want to see. I didn't see as many A24 movies as I would have hoped last year, so I really want to see some more this year.
Yeah. I know there was have you seen the Iron Claw?
Mm-mm. Heard a lot of really good things about it, especially
Yeah,
with,
I
like
heard
Zac
it's
Efron.
sad.
Oh, really?
My teacher watched it and he said he cried.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah.
Which teacher? We're name
My
dropping.
reading teacher.
I don't know who that is, so.
He said both him and his wife cried, which is
A
kind of
lot of
funny.
people think that Iron Claw is going to be nominated. At least Zac Efron is going to be nominated for an Oscar.
Did that release this year or did that release
I
last year?
It was last year, 2023.
Okay.
So I'm pretty sure the thing is, I think in October is when like the Oscar people stop voting or like around when they like end the voting for some. I don't know. I heard that. So I don't know if that movie came out like during the time where they weren't voting anymore. Because I think Saltburn, have you heard about that movie? I know we've talked about it a little bit. I've heard a lot of things about how that movie came out too close to the end of the year so that it wouldn't be considered for the Oscars. But God, is that movie insane. Like,
That's kind of funny.
I need you to
But
watch it.
yeah, I need to watch it. And that's like one of the movies that are on like my watch list for this year.
It's on Prime.
Oh, for real? I thought it was on Netflix.
No, I think it's on Prime. I'm pretty sure I watched it on Prime. What?
Um, I like how I pulled up Letterboxd and it's the first one that like shows up.
Yeah, because a lot of people have been like, there's been a lot of like talk about that movie because
No,
I
yeah, it went really viral.
literally it I saw it and I was left speechless. Like I really wouldn't be able to write a review if you like held me at gunpoint. Like I was just standing there, just that movie is so good.
But did the movie not have a theatrical release or did it have a short one?
You know, that's a good question because I have no idea because
I
I
think
only saw people watching it like at home.
I feel like it did release in theaters. Like I feel like I vaguely remember, I may be wrong, but I vaguely remember looking at Cinemark and seeing it, but it had to have been not for long because then it immediately went to streaming and that's when everybody started watching it. If that was the case.
Which I
I'm
mean
not
is honestly a smarter play for a movie like that, in my opinion. Like it's really raunchy. Like it's just very
yeah.
artistic, and a lot of times artistic movies do not do well like in theaters. Let me see. Are you looking it up?
Yeah, it says it was in theaters.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, I really
um
don't remember that at all.
in at least this article says that in some select theaters it released November 17th.
Some
So
select theaters though,
yeah.
so it wasn't even like all
Yeah,
the.
I don't think it was like a whole like thing. I
It was
mean, they
probably just
probably
a
had like
partnership or something they had.
yeah, maybe. But yeah, I mean, when it comes to those types of movies, even though streaming is typically like very counter-effective when it comes to releasing movies, like we saw in Disney Plus with like the Pixar movies that they just released a bunch of them, and then they obviously like they couldn't have done the money that they would have done maybe if they released it in theaters, which they're doing
Yeah.
now. They're releasing the movies in theaters now.
Are you
So it
serious?
was like Luca, Soul, and Turning Red. They're putting it in theaters now because those are
Luca
the
in
three.
theaters would be fire. Luca was
I
it.
mean, all three of those movies were pretty good. Like, I think Soul was the better one, but like the all three of them were still good. So like honestly, I would see them in theaters. I feel like that would be better. But yeah, I think Saltburn, it needed the streaming to like maybe go more viral,
Yeah.
and do better
Especially with
because
people like Jacob Elordi and like I forgot his name, but the main character of the movie. Them two
his name
like
is like Barry Cogan
yes,
or Keegan
yes.
or something. I don't know how to
Keegan, I
pronounce it.
think it might be. I don't know, but they're like both incredible actors. But the thing is, they have a lot of pull, but mainly for like streaming things, like because Euphoria is something that you stream. Like I don't. The only thing Jacob Elordi has done that I saw in theaters ever was Priscilla,
Oh yeah.
and it wasn't like he wasn't even a main character in that, but. I do think a lot of people only watch that movie for Jacob Elordi, so he does have some hold. But I don't
Yeah.
know if the thing is that movie was like it was marketed, but I really not to the extent of like other movies, in my opinion. Like I usually see trailers before I see like Like for that movie, I literally only saw Jacob Elordi being in it, and it's like of like him smiling or something. That's all the ad that I got.
Yeah, I think like the fact that it got viral was the only thing that actually helped the movie. And I don't necessarily think that was the the intention of the marketing team. Like that, I feel like that just happened because, it was like they had interesting scenes and people were like, oh my God, like watch this scene is crazy or whatever. So then people started watching it. And like I'll see people post like reaction to Saltburn scene. So it's like people like turn this into a way to like get entertainment, like a secondary form of entertainment. So it like that because of that, it like kicked off. Because before that, before people were kind of aware. I feel like not that many people were watching it, like, or
Yeah.
at least not that many people knew about it up until now.
The trend is what got me to watch the movie in general,
Yeah,
like
exactly.
that where people were like, "Oh, reacting to the bathtub scene or something," and I
Yeah,
was like, "There's no way that people are reacting this like
yeah,
animated to a movie." You get me? Because the last time I saw people do like a genuine reaction that like was like jerking to them was I don't know if you remember Game of Thrones that our father like made us watch the red room, well, not the red room, like the red dinner scene or something. Do you remember that?
I don't think I was ever forced to watch that.
Oh my God, I was held at essentially gunpoint, and that scene has literally traumatized me like through my life. I was scared to watch Game of Thrones because of that scene because he showed it to me as like a child, and
Yeah,
it's literally kind of traumatizing. And I was like, that was the last time that I saw anybody like give reactions to something
yeah,
so heavily. And then I saw this, and I was like, I understand. Like it's just so crazy. The movie
yeah,
is so insane. I really wish it well, I hope it's gonna get some Oscar recognition. Another movie I
yeah.
hope would get that I don't think you've seen is Bottoms. Have you heard about that one?
I haven't seen it, but I actually really wanted to see it because I felt like it looked interesting, but I didn't watch it, but I really wanted to.
So good. The way that like we I was deprived of a good like comedy movie and that was it. Like it was so funny. But I don't think it's getting any Oscar nominations
Yeah.
at all. I'm
Was
trying
this
to think.
year?
Yeah, that was well done. That came out last year, 2023.
Okay.
Wait, because would you
Um,
say this year you mean
I
2023?
meant 2023.
Yeah, okay,
That
that's
was
what I
like
figured.
this like last year.
No, it was this
Um,
year.
I think I'm pretty sure Deadpool's releasing this year.
The one with
So
Wolverine.
yeah, and I think that's the only Marvel movie that's releasing this year. So yeah,
Oh, that's a big change. But
yeah.
was it done purposely? Was that in the plan? Because I know they had planned to release hella movies.
I think because of the strikes, they had to start pushing everything back, and that was like the only one that since they were recording already like during the strikes or right before the strikes, that was like the only one that was able to release 2024. But I think as well, Disney has started to realize that quantity over quality. I mean, mess that up. Quality over quantity is better. So, and I'm pretty sure like Bob Iger, like the CEO of Disney, mentioned it in an interview. I'm not sure. I think he did though. Or someone like some head of Disney or something had said that they realized that like they needed to focus more on quality versus quantity. And I think the same applies with Marvel because like they've been struggling because of that to produce better movies. I feel like because they're just oversaturating the theaters with all these movies and not even just the theaters, now streaming as well. So they're just
Hmm.
but yeah, I think it's the only one releasing this year because I think they're kind of realizing that they need to start changing things. And I feel like the next year after that might have at least like scheduled might have only had like 2 to 3 movies max. I feel like I'm not sure though.
Oh,
But
wow.
yeah, I mean, I feel like
Different.
I'm excited for Deadpool because I like the first two Deadpool movies. And since this one's like finally the introduction of like him to the MCU, I'm like really curious as to how they're gonna do that.
Yeah, same. That's literally the only reason. Also, Deadpool's character has always been like one of the stronger ones in my opinion, at least entertainment wise, just because Ryan Reynolds, like he's Ryan Reynolds, he knows how to act it out, especially that specific character that he does in like almost every movie. No hate, but we love to see it. Like you got me, and especially I think the added element of like Wolverine really gonna be interesting because I'm. Do you? are you aware with how they're gonna integrate Wolverine? Is it like a going into the past or is it like a
So I've heard like theories. I'm assuming none of this is confirmed, but one thing I heard was that like the universe is collapsing or something, and they need or something, there's like an evil being and they need to form like a team of different realities to like defeat them. So like Deadpool's looking for them. That's kind of like one of the things I heard. I also heard, I don't know if this was like the same theory or something else, but that the TVA from like Loki was going to be kind of involved in the sense that like maybe
Oh.
they were going to try to track down Deadpool or something like that. Something of the sorts. That's what I heard. Because if you remember in Deadpool 2, he has like that thing to make him like go back in time. So like maybe that's what they're gonna do to like connect it.
Hmm.
But I'm not sure how they're gonna do it.
Yeah,
Low-key.
that's honestly a pretty big question mark in my head. But I literally just recently saw a video about how we're getting so much like multiversal content and like how it feels kind of like like I don't know if suffocating is the right word, but literally everything is multiverse. Like think about like a superhero genre or like a superhero show or something other than like The Boys. Everything is going multiversal. Like the Invincibles going multiversal.
And for the most part, Invincible has been multiversal because
I
like the
know.
books had been written a while ago.
Yeah, I've
Um,
heard. But
but I feel like everything at one point has like a multiverse plot line in like their thing.
creation.
I feel like it's always bound to happen. I mean, it happened with DC, happened with Marvel, happened with Invincible. Like, I feel like I'm sure the boys probably had something about that in the comics. Like,
Probably, yeah.
uh, but I do think it is getting to be too much, and maybe it's not necessarily that it's getting too much, but what we're getting is not good enough. Like, it's
I
not being
agree.
done correctly.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like it's giving that impression to us that it's just not
Hitting.
good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you seen Echo?
No.
All 5 episodes already released.
Calm down, okay? Is it good though? Have you seen it?
I haven't seen it. No, I haven't
Oh.
started yet.
Oh,
Yeah.
so you were asking me with so much aggression, but you hadn't seen
No,
it
I was
either.
just saying like all 5 episodes released, but I heard, I think I had mentioned it to you that
Uh-huh.
I heard from some people saying that there was like a 7 minute fight with Daredevil in the first episode. Not sure. I hope that's like not a spoiler, but well, it kind of is. But I feel like it was kind of expected because Maya, which is I'm pretty sure the name of Echo,
Uh-huh.
she's not necessarily a hero. Like she is a villain for
Oh,
the most
word.
part. So I feel like it was expected that she was gonna at one point fight Daredevil or like at another point. Um, and
I mean,
Daredevil's very intertwined with that show because of Kingpin.
yeah.
So makes sense.
I mean, I get it. I just frankly don't care. I don't know if that's like rude of me, but it's just I like Marvel has just been giving so much content, especially show related too. Like, did you watch that one about Nick Fury?
Did and it was really bad.
Oh, word. Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't hear good things. So it's like I kind of don't want any more. Like I've seen the original like four shows they came out with. I'm a fan. Maybe the Winter Soldier one I really didn't like care that much for, but I think that was it came with the territory for me, to be honest. Like I just wasn't gonna care. But I just the scrolls thing, I just don't understand. Can you just tell me what happened in that show, to be honest?
Well, it's just I'm not gonna lie, actually. The first like I feel like couple episodes, I don't remember how many there were. I think there was like six. The first couple episodes were actually pretty good. Like they had kind of like that espionage feel, but I feel like not enough because for when it's related to scrolls and Secret Invasion, you imagine that espionage like feel where there's like secret spies or whatever. It didn't really give that throughout the entire show, but it did at some points, and in those points were I think the strongest points of that show. But when it was the worst was when they decided to, the actress who was in it, Emilia Clarke, I think was her name.
Mm-hmm.
She was in Game of Thrones.
Yes.
She's a scroll in the thing. She's the daughter of Talos, the scroll from Captain Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
And she, at the end of the show, gets a bunch of powers given to her because I don't know if you know, I don't know the specific name, but in the comics, especially they're kind of tied with the Fantastic Four from what I know. There's like that super scroll that has like the power of all the Fantastic Four.
I had no idea
So
what that
that
did.
was kind of the vibe that they were doing. They were creating like a machine to give powers to the scrolls. And she took basically every single power they have documented. She took Groot's power, she took Captain Marvel's power, Drax's arm. Like she took all these people's thing and like gave it to her. So she still is out in the universe with all of these powers with her right now. And I find it so stupid and it also looked terrible how it was done. Like it looked horrible. That episode looked horrible.
Not
So
surprised, to be
yeah,
honest.
so I'm actually like very sad about that because I was excited for that show. Like I actually the trailers looked good for that show. Like they looked really good. Looked very down to earth and like
Yeah, with to be honest, with Nick Fury, like I was really expecting kind of that Agents of Shield vibe, which I'm not gonna lie, ever since that show, I've just been craving something like that because that show, at least, I know we have differing opinions of Agents of Shield, but the first couple of seasons of that show were just so addictive because it showed you like the other side of Marvel. You get me? Like we saw so much of the superhero sides, but something that made it so interesting to like go into that world was Shield and how much like Shield had, especially in like the Avengers movies and stuff like that. Those I wish those qualities were like just looked into more, especially in the actual MCU, because it would be, concrete. But now Shield isn't even a thing. So it's like, why would they even do that? But I wish they had done that like for the new scroll one.
I think the problem is with that show is that or with every show that the MCU has produced so far, starting with WandaVision, I heard that it's because they never did like a pilot episode. Like it's almost like they just go immediately into it. They film the shows like they film movies. And
Interesting.
obviously that's causing it to struggle because you can't film a show like how you film a movie. There are some
Yeah.
differences.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of apparent because you can see that they're trying to go for that movie feel, but it's not hitting.
Yeah.
They're not able to do it correctly. They're limiting themselves by doing like 5 to 6 episodes. When I saw that Echo was 5 episodes, I was like, that's crazy. Like it's insane that that's only 5 episodes. Like that's crazy. Um, but yeah, they're limiting themselves to these short like series, these short one-off series, and it's just not doing well. I think they should try to go back to longer episodes. I feel like they just think that people have shorter attention spans, but it's like at the end of the day, just give us a regular show. Like Daredevil, I think they said that Daredevil is going to be like 18 episodes or something like that. The new Daredevil like show that they're doing. So that's good that they're like bringing that back. Like they need
Yeah.
to make the episodes longer to make us like actually be able to feel for the characters and feel for that story with whatever they're doing. I feel like is better. And I also feel like they're maybe looking too much into the future of Marvel and how those characters can be used in the future rather than focusing on that story itself.
Mm.
So they're kind of like leaving it open and not finishing the story off exactly how it should be. And now we're getting the Agatha series, which I'm actually kind of excited about just because I like the actress.
Mm-hmm.
And like I think Aubrey Plaza is in it as well. The yeah.
Shut up.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she's in it.
Oh, I'm
And
on
you
my
know,
way.
there's this one guy, I don't know what show he's from. You might have seen it. He's like I don't remember his name. Let me look it up.
I kind of don't want to say something else because I know it might distract you. But that calling back to what you were saying about like shorter episodes and stuff. Wait, speak so I can go zoom into you. Oh, Heartbreaker?
Okay, yeah. So he's in it. And apparently he's playing one of Wanda's children, like more grown up.
Oh, I'm not a hater. I'm not a hater. I don't hate that casting. But the the thing about those shorter episodes is I was literally gonna point out how I haven't been able to binge watch like a series in so long, which is so like you'd think that with streaming I'd be able to like binge watch something. But I think with streaming a lot of shows have been getting like shorter and shorter. because we all consume that media like so quickly that like they literally need to shorten those things in order to keep us interested. Like even Netflix is doing shorter. Like when you look up a Netflix series, chances are they're like 10 episodes below. Like not Game of Thrones. Grey's Anatomy used to drop 20 plus episodes per season, each episode being 40 minutes. It was like that is like not seen anymore. And I don't know if
Yeah.
it's because of like streaming somehow. I wouldn't know how that'd be connected, but like it's so insane. I want to go back to that like longer form, more information content, especially for something like TV that's definitely like what we need. But I really don't know. I mean, I don't watch cable. So it's like I don't know whether or not they're really
But I think there is some sort of like fault of streaming for that because specifically with streaming platforms like Netflix that just release their content all in one go,
mm-hmm.
that's the problem, I think. Because with cable, you're not getting all these episodes back to back to back. You have to wait. And I think that's causing a problem. And even with Disney shows like, I mean, Disney Plus shows that are like set like once every week or whatever, they release an episode. They're making them shorter, I feel like, because people's attention span is shorter. So it's like people don't want to wait like more than 2 months to watch an entire show because of how many episodes there's in it. So I
True.
think they're limiting that because of Netflix fault and other streaming platforms that release it all in one go. I think that's the fault. That's the fault. It's Netflix's fault. I blame Netflix. And because of that, Disney Plus is failing. Well, not completely their fault, but I think that's one of the contributing factors for why they're making the show so short. But
Yeah.
I feel like again, that's not an excuse for it to be bad quality, especially when it comes from Disney.
Yeah. Also, something I wanted to touch on lightly because we only have 10 minutes left, at least on this Zoom call. Um, the Percy Jackson show, uh, it's just I'm honestly severely disappointed. Like I didn't keep watching. I think I got to like maybe episode 3 or episode 2. Um, there was just multiple reasons for me to not keep watching, but a lot of it was just the fact that Disney dropped yet another like project that you can tell most of their heart wasn't in,
Yeah.
that they were just trying to get money yet again. And it's just really disappointing and disheartening because it's like you're gonna take something that honestly, I mean, that's debatable because a lot of people wanted a Percy Jackson like adaptation again because the one that was like the movies they weren't satisfactory to a lot of people. But honestly, I could
Yeah.
have lived without this. Like if they maybe would have made something that was um I don't know, I guess had that same essence of the movies or the books because both of them had to their core it was like a fantasy that was like it felt like you were exploring the world with Percy Jackson. And I really don't think that that's like the case with this show and it really disappoints me. Like I don't know, you saw a couple of episodes about it, right?
I think there's maybe four out right now or 4 to 5 right now.
Mm-hmm.
It was the first two, then there was the Medusa, and then there was the Chimera. So those 4 episodes, and I think they already released the fifth this Tuesday, and I haven't seen the fifth. But from those four that I've seen, it's been very mid all throughout. I think some scenes look really good, and then some scenes look poopy quality, very gray, no color, no direction with what it's gonna look like. It looks very much like a car ad, a car commercial. That's what it looks like. Because it just doesn't look good in some parts. I think the best part that it looked, the best moment it looked was in the rain scene in the first episode. It was either
Oh.
first or second episode when his mom like dies or whatever. That scene looked good.
Mm-hmm.
Then everything else is just gray, bleak, whatever.
I literally remember watching that rain scene you're talking about and just asking to myself, how did they do those lights? Like,
Yeah.
because they looked so nice in that shot. And I
Yeah.
was really like, I was heavily engrossed in that scene just because of the lighting looked so nice in there. And then the rest is just like so boring. It's like
Yeah.
even the camp looks boring. Like it's just and not I don't want to be a hater on children because it's like why am I like, instilling this like hate? But those kids they they need a little bit more work like before you drop them on a multi-million-dollar TV show that ends up
Yeah.
kind of sucking for everybody. Because like I haven't heard any good things. I'm not gonna lie. At least from Percy Jackson fans. They're all like severely underwhelmed because that's kind of how the show just comes across. Like nothing inherently is like horrible. You get me? You can't pinpoint what really is like that's bad compared to the movies that you could literally tell exactly what is wrong with the adaptation.
Yeah.
But either way, it's just like it's so dissatisfying. And another adaptation that just came to my mind right now is did you hear that Greta Gerwig is directing the Chronicles of Narnia?
Oh, I have not heard of that.
The way the thing is, I have so many mixed opinions about this because why do we need another like remake? Like I'm frankly tired. Give me some original content. Um, but Greta Gerwig directed the Chronicles of Narnia.
I didn't know
No, that's insane. Like the thing is, I just also don't want to see another British little girl playing Lucy. Like you're just not gonna have the same appeal that the original did. And it's like, who who are these remakes really for? That's
that.
the
Yeah.
genuine question. Because I'm not gonna lie, I don't think it's for the newer generations to enjoy the same piece of media. Because girl, show them what worked. Show them the original content. You get me? Like when my kids grow up, I'm not gonna show them the Narnia remake by Greta Gerwig, although it may be fire as hell. I'm gonna show her the original because that's what invoked feelings in me. You get me? It's just like I don't understand why we keep doing so many remakes and just like taking the same thing and repurposing it. It all sounds like a money grab, in my opinion. I don't
Yeah.
know.
That's really what they're doing it for. They're just doing it for the money.
It's so
And they're just passing
disheartening.
it off as like, oh, like this is for the fans, for you guys, this is what you guys wanted, right? And then it's just like remakes and like sequels and prequels and tied in shows to like things people don't care about. Like for the record, I was thinking about Andor, the one that was tied with Rogue One.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, it's actually a really good show. And people say it's like the best Star Wars show. It actually feels like a show. It's not like a Disney thing. And based on the first episode I watched, I only watched one episode, but based on that one episode I watched, you could really tell it was heavier than literally anything else Star Wars has produced because he accidentally like kills a guy or something in the first episode, or like kind of does it on purpose because like the guy comes after him.
Mm-hmm.
But that death felt real because his friend was like, "Oh, you just killed him, like you just killed my friend or whatever." And it's like death is not treated like that ever in any Star Wars media and almost in no media. Like it's never that heavy. It's like it's never that heavy unless it's in a main character, and that's just the truth.
No, it is.
But when you make everything feel real and you make everything feel like it actually has an impact on the story and on the characters, it's so much better. And like you really get a better show and a better movie or whatever the case is. So I think for those reasons, Andor succeeded. And I think they're maybe doing a second season. Like I'm pretty sure they confirmed a second season. So I mean that goes to show like people do want good
More
shows. They do
content.
want good media. Yeah.
Something you reminded me of when you said that like it feels real was actually another movie which I don't remember the name of, but it's by A24 again, coming out this year apparently. Let me see if you remember the movie because I think we saw a trailer together, but I'm not sure. It's with Jenna Ortega and the guy who plays the Hobbit. Um, and it's like a teacher student relationship. And the thing is, I've seen so many videos on like how media like that impacts people and stuff. Like the show Pretty Little Liars has 13 adult minor relationships, and they are all treated absolutely normal. Like they're not illegal, like literally.
Yeah.
Um, and this movie, I was really like when I was watching the trailer, I was really kind of hyper aware of like how they were gonna treat that because it's a heavy subject matter to begin with. And A24 usually kind of understands the media they're making, you get me? So they're aware of that type of stuff. And in the trailer, they literally said like you're an adult, you should be the one to like stop it or whatever. Um, and that really caught me off guard because I really didn't think that that movie was gonna, I guess, do that because we're not used to like at least the movies and things I've seen with teacher-student relationships, they almost never acknowledge the actual like illegal aspect of it. It's almost always like, oh, you're gonna get fired, you get me? But it's like,
Yeah.
Queen, you're literally a predator, like go to
Yeah.
jail. Um, and so I'm really interested to see how that movie goes and plays along, just because the subject matter is so heavy and it's just like, what are you going for? Because at least how the trailer portrays, I think the teacher does like have sexual relation with the minor, at least from what the trailer portrays, in my opinion. So it's like, are you gonna make him a villain or are you gonna make this like just another normalized experience that shouldn't be? I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
know why. That just brought like the whole like realism to it. Because it's like I feel like if hopefully if anybody gets told that a relationship is going on with a minor, you would say something and be like, hello,
Yeah.
like what are you doing? You get me? So that brought me, I don't know. I don't even know where I was going with that movie. It was just another anticipated watch from
Like,
A24.
I hadn't seen a trailer or anything for it. I think I maybe heard of it, but like, or heard of like Jenna Ortega being part of something about that, but I didn't know about it. But that kind of reminds me of this movie I've seen. I don't know if you've seen it. It's called like The Kindergartner or like The Kindergartner Teacher or something like that. I don't know. It's with Jake Gyllenhaal's sister, who's like a an
Maggie,
actress. I don't know her name.
I think her name's Maggie Gyllenhaal.
Gyllenhaal. Okay, yeah, I think it is.
They don't look
But
related.
yeah, they don't. But so she was like the main like character or whatever, and basically it was kind of about that, or kind of like about predatory behavior, but not intentional, if that makes sense.
Mm,
She was kind of fascinated with this little boy because he showed a lot of intelligence, and he would like write poems. He would just make poems out of nowhere, like say poems. He was a kindergartner, and he would just say poems that were really good.
mhm,
And it was to the point that she would go to like poem readings or whatever, read her own work, and it would get heavily criticized. But then she would read his work and it wouldn't be criticized. It would be like, wow, like it's very good how you did this and this and this. So whatever. She started getting like fascinated by how he's able to do this or whatever. And she felt like the parents weren't treating it with that much like craziness. Like she was
mhm.
like, you have a prodigy.
Prodigy, yeah.
And they were just like, okay. And so she starts kind of going crazy over this kid. And that's when it kind of takes a turn because obviously she's not doing it from a point of like pedophilia,
Yeah.
but regardless,
It's
that's
weird.
not your child. And
Yeah.
it becomes weird because like at first it's like, oh, like, yeah, she's very into providing him with like the necessary things to excel
Nurture.
his like, yeah, to nurture his like creativity. But then it like becomes crazy. So at the end, I'm gonna spoil it.
Yeah.
At the end of the movie, she the dad I think kind of starts noticing that she's kind of like weird about him. So he switches schools, switches the child's school, and then she drives to the school, sees him playing in the playground, opens the gate, brings him to her car. She drives away to like a super far away place to go like with this child on like to a resort or something. And then while he's in the cab, they're both in the cabin, the boy starts to also realize that this bitch fucking kidnapped him. And so he literally calls the police, but she like lets him. Like it's not like she's like, no, don't call the police. She's like, I did too much. Like I literally
Yeah, that was
kidnapped
a
this
point of
child.
realization. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was very interesting because she like was like, damn, like I really just fucking kidnapped this child. Like,
That's kind of nice that at that point,
yeah,
because like it would hope, I mean, her intentions weren't bad. You get
yeah,
me?
they weren't like initially bad, but it's just you can't like take control basically of this child. Like,
Kidnap a child.
yeah, like that's crazy.
No, that is kind
Um,
of insane. I hadn't seen that movie. Was she
yeah,
good
it's
in
a
it
pretty good
though?
movie. Yeah, she is good in it.
Okay, yeah, because I've
Yeah,
never seen anything of hers. I just know that she's literally related to Jake Gyllenhaal.
yeah. But yeah, she was actually good in it. She's a good actress. But yeah, that movie's crazy.
No, it is. That sounds insane. I'm trying to think of because you mentioned something and then it reminded me. Oh, Predation a bit. W-
Hmm.
Have you seen the movie No Hard Feelings?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
You saw it?
Yeah.
Okay. A relatively okay movie, right? He's a victim. Like that
Yeah.
that kid is a victim. Like, and
Yeah.
that whole movie in not at one point was Jennifer Lawrence's character like really held to like the consequences of her actions
Yeah.
at all. And nobody watching the movie like realized how strange that movie is inherently. Like she is a full-blown adult trying to literally sleep with a child who's in high school.
Yeah.
Is he 18 in the movie? I don't know. I
I don't
no
know, but I
fucking
would
hope.
really hope so. Yeah, I
Yeah,
would hope so, but I'm
right?
not sure.
Like there's just no way
I'm
you
gonna look
make
it up.
that movie with him being anything other than an 18-year-old. But even then it's still like there's no way people don't see it as creepy even when he's 18. Like he is still
Yeah.
a high school student. Like he is still
Well,
a
he's 19.
but he's in high school.
He apparently he's like a soon to be college student.
So he's like going
So,
into okay, I
yeah.
kind of get it. But even
Yeah.
then, like
Yeah,
I
it's still kind of
don't
creepy.
know. It's so
Yeah.
weird and hella people just like I have not seen people talk about this like as an issue for the movie. You get me? Like
I've seen a
everybody
couple people
oh
on
really?
Letterboxd. When I like went to put my review, I like started seeing some people being like, if the roles were reversed, like this would be like a really strange movie or whatever. Which
No,
it would be,
yeah.
yeah.
And the thing is like I'm just I feel like so many movies are coming out now with like well I don't want to say it's new. Maybe it's just that I'm pointing it out like at least in my head. But movies where women are like the predators but they're not treated as such. I don't know if you saw I
Yeah,
think
it's more like a
it
joke.
yeah, it's like an A24 movie I think again coming out. I don't know if they're going to handle it like how they should in my opinion, but um it's a movie casted with Anne Hathaway who it's like a Your Name thing. Have you heard about it? Where this guy is like a pop star, right? And
Mhm.
Anne Hathaway takes her daughter to like a concert to see this guy and his band. And the guy ends up like low-key falling in love with Anne Hathaway, but she's like a full-blown adult and he's like just like not like a child because I'm pretty sure he's of age, but he's still like a kid just like as a movie star. Do you get what I'm saying? And it's like she's literally older than him by like a lot. Like age gaps.
The issue is a lot more on society and like their expectations of ages because you go on Twitter and stuff like that and you'll find some people being like, "Oh, this age gap is weird because even though they're of age, it's still a really big age gap and like they were just teenagers or they were just like minors technically."
Mm-hmm.
But then you'll have some people being like, "It's not necessarily about the legality of it. Like, even though it's legal, it doesn't mean it's morally correct
Mm-hmm.
because that's a big age gap. And also a lot of times, um, other aspects of it are introduced, like what's the word? Like the power imbalances. Like if it's a
Mm-hmm.
boss, if it's a an influencer or whatever, like it starts to get worse because these people have power over
Power.
these other people. And it's easier to groom someone if you are coming from a position of power, and also easier to abuse someone and use them in a position of power. Not that it can't be done regardless, but I think for that reason, it's very 50-50. Like some people are like, oh, it's legal, so it's fine. Like there's no
Yeah.
issue regarding it. Some people are like, these people are like don't even have their brain fully developed yet, and they're getting into relationships with like 50-year-olds. It's like insane. Like that's not right. So I think the main problem is like society and like how they view that. I'm sure in a couple years from now, we're gonna like think that
Evolve.
those movies are worse because of those reasons. Because I think the attitude is shifting a bit. Because I feel like for the most part, people didn't care about age gaps, but now they're becoming more of like a an apparent thing,
Yeah.
especially with like younger generations that are kind of like peeping how like these like groomers and stuff like that are able to take advantage of people. So it's regardless of age gap. So I think that'll change.
A lot of people, at least like a lot of the conversation that I've heard about age gaps and stuff, they uh use like age sta not age stages, like life stages as a way to really be able to see because age gaps the thing is age gaps get a little more complicated when you're maybe in the film industry like Hollywood because your brain is different automatically when especially if you grow up in that culture where you're like a child actor, your brain is not going to develop the exact same as somebody who like had a normal life or like normal, you get me? Um, so it's like for people who do have fame, it is a bit different, at least in my opinion. Like the conversation is a little bit more gray. Obviously, not with minors. That is like obviously out of the question. And when I say that, I do include people who are like 20 below in my age, like mind. If you're like 19, you're still a child, in my opinion. Like
Mm.
that's just me. But when it comes to like age, there's just it's such like a nuanced conversation in general. Um, but I personally abide by the life stage rule because if it's why are you like a 30-year-old going after somebody who's just going into college? What
Yeah.
is a college student gonna provide to your life like inherently, like literally at all? Because
Yeah.
what you as a 30-year-old person are old enough to provide for yourself, are old enough to have your own identity. Like if you get with somebody who is essentially like below that life stage, what are they giving to you? What are they providing to you?
Yeah.
Because this person has not experienced their own life yet. You get me? Like they're just about to start. Like I don't know, age gaps always weird me out, and I will be judgmental about them because you're just strange. You're a weirdo. Like you're not a predator yet, but it's like you might as fucking well be. Like you're literally so
Yeah.
close to the line that you're like, why are you even here?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. That's so strange to me. But we still got off topic about
Yeah, we did.
about movies and shit. Wait, did you want to bring up music that was coming out like soon? Because I really am
Um,
not aware of songs. I know that Kanye is coming out with an album, Vulture.
Kanye, SZA, The Weeknd, Ariana Grande, um, Faye. I'm not very familiar with Faye, but I'm pretty sure they announced an album.
Okay, I'm not familiar either.
Um, who else?
Wait, but when's SZA dropping?
I don't know. I
Oh,
don't think she's released a date yet.
okay, but it's coming.
Yeah, The Weeknd as well. Ariana Grande's single comes out tomorrow.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And then so the album is probably coming out like I don't know how long does it normally take for like a month after.
Yeah. Like once a single starts dropping, it's like a month or two after.
So there'll
I'm
be an
really
Ariana Grande album.
excited for Ari music because we haven't gotten new music in literally like 5 years or like four
Hmm.
or something like that. Like,
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
no, it is. The fact that like people are still willing to like buy any of her music.
Oh, did
Like,
you see she like released a teaser for it today? And it was like these people being like, "Oh, she's releasing new music." And it's like and it was like, "Oh, well, but I heard this from the internet." And then they were like, "Well, because the internet is like true." They were like, "Oh, if it's from the internet, then it can't be wrong." Because I think it was about her like addressing the rumors about her boyfriend or whatever, with the
yeah.
fact that like he had a child with another woman and they knew that and he knew she knew the child, she knew the mother.
Did you listen to her song that was viral on TikTok, but it was like unreleased? It was
I
like
heard about it, but
you
I
know
don't
which one
know.
I'm talking about. It was like
Yeah, I
really
think so.
popular. They made a dance to it. Oh,
I think I know.
whatever that one. It's essentially her life. Like she literally wrote it out on a piece of paper and like didn't release it technically, but she literally saw that man, made him cheat. Well, nobody made him cheat. He cheated. He cheated on his wife, who was literally giving birth. Ari held the baby.
Yeah.
Like ridiculous. The way that if I were that woman, she would have been dead the next day.
Oh
Like
yeah, that's crazy.
like the fact that and the thing is a lot of things have come out about Ariana being a serial cheater and
Yeah.
people are still willing to like take a bullet for her. And I'm like, we need to stop idolizing people in general. Like something that still to this day is I really can't believe it. I was watching the documentary that Selena Gomez came out with last year, and in one of the clips, it's this little girl coming up to her to meet and greet, and she's like, "I celebrate your birthday every year."
That's
Homie,
crazy.
you're praying to a god.
That's
Like
crazy.
you're literally that's part of ritual. Like you're insane. Not the child, you know, maybe the parents that are allowing her to do
Yeah.
that in general. But the way that that is insane to me. Like we as a society idolize so many of these normal ass people because they're all normal. They're all just regular human beings that have hella money.
Yeah.
And
Like
that
the same way that a regular person will like cheat, same way they'll commit a crime, same way literally anything will happen, an influencer will do. And sometimes influencers do it more because
they
they
have
have
money and
more
power.
power. And yeah.
Yeah, it's so
So
insane that like we created them. Like we created
yeah,
these like
literally.
monsters. But like it and we do nothing about it to stop. Like it's just so insane in my brain. Like we consume so much and it's like their lives are part of our entertainment and it just I don't know. So much of it is like so crazy, so fucked up. Like a lot of times I do feel pretty bad for celebrities just because like they have a lot on their plate in terms of it's just like until you're in a position to be one of them, you would never understand what it feels
Yeah.
like to have the world hate you at a certain point in time for doing something fucking stupid that any other human being would do. But then
Yeah.
that means nothing inherently because then a week later you're going to be perfectly fine getting
Yeah.
back all the things that you had taken away to begin with. Like, I don't know. The world is so crazy. I don't know how we got here.
Well, I don't even, yeah, I don't know what we were talking about. Oh, we were talking about music, so then we were talking about Ariana and then
Oh,
her
yeah.
scandal.
Her little.
Um, but yeah, I think Kanye is releasing apparently because it was supposed to release already, right? Like
Oh,
it on Apple Music it said it's releasing like whatever this day, and then it didn't
oh,
because apparently Kanye is very known for that. Like he'll say a date, there'll be a date, and then he'll like keep extending it. But a new date popped up, which is the 19th. So
okay.
I hope it actually comes out that
Yeah.
day because like I don't want to wait any longer for this album. So yeah,
I think only one song dropped, right? From that.
yeah. And I actually did not like it.
Yeah, me neither. I wasn't really that
I'm
much
not
of
a
a
fan.
fan. I
Yeah.
like more of Kanye's production in terms of like
Yeah.
because I mean what he does say like hella crazy shit all the time on his like bars or whatever, but I really do more of the artistic side when he gets into the music booth or whatever. So I
Yeah.
want to hear more of that more than anything. Like I don't really he had a feature on that song, right? The one that dropped.
I'm pretty sure it had multiple features,
Yeah, and
which is
I'm
something I
not a
don't like.
fan. Yeah.
Yeah. The thing is, I'm pretty sure that album isn't just his album, it's a shared album, like a a
Okay.
double working, whatever the
Yeah,
fuck it's
yeah, no,
called.
I get
Like
you.
how he did with Jay-Z and he did it with Kid Cudi, I think.
You know what's an artist you should get into?
Who?
Metro Boomin.
Oh.
You do you have thoughts or no? Did I try to
Well,
get you into Metro
yes, you
before?
tried multiple times. You tried two times, separate occasion, showing me the same exact songs, telling me the same exact things as if you hadn't told me the day before or
It's just
something
like,
like.
you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna buy you a Metro CD.
I've seen them. Like I know there's like heroes wear cape or something like that, and
Heroes
then
and
there's like
Villains.
yes or something.
And then there's Savage
Is-
Mode 1
But
and
isn't there
2.
one or something about heroes wear cape or not? All heroes wear capes or something
Oh
like that.
yeah, that's one of the songs. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah, but
But
it's
yeah,
just
I've seen
like
some of those.
Metro is just so good. And because you said shared album, and he has a couple of shared albums with 21 Savage, and they're honestly masterpieces. Like I really Love them so much. And also Metro has produced some songs for Kanye.
Give me a second. I don't remember she got out. Okay. Um,
So I'm just saying, give it a listen. Like,
I mean I will, but I have to like get through all of Kanye's albums
oh,
first.
I see the two new rack. I mean, the one new rack. I see it. Yeah,
Yes.
it looks nice.
Yes, I have. I'm listening to Iron Maiden now,
The
which
one
is
that's
Met.
like, oh no, that's
No, that's that's not.
somebody referencing Iron Maiden. And I
Yeah,
was like,
it's like
listen to Iron
Iron
Maiden.
Maiden, baby. That's Teenage Dirtbag, right?
Oh, I think so. I think, yeah. And I'm just a
Yeah.
teen. Yeah, no, so
Um,
fire.
but I mean, honestly, I didn't think I was gonna like Iron Maiden, but because it's metal, at least according to Apple, like the genre is metal. But I guess I'm a fan of metal because I'm liking the music there so far. And so I got a CD because he had one. So
Oh, nice. Is that how many did you get?
so far I've only gotten three. I got Avril Lavigne, I got Led Zeppelin, and I got
Sure.
the Iron Maiden one. But tomorrow I'll
Which
buy more.
um which one's the one? It's like Floyd something. Pink Floyd.
Uh-huh.
Listen to Pink Floyd too. Pink Floyd
Okay.
is pretty
What
fire.
type of music is
It's
it?
like rock, like old rock.
Okay.
But I'm definitely gonna get you a Metro Boomin CD. I'm not gonna cap. It's probably gonna be Savage Mode 2 because that is my probably my favorite album of
Is
his.
there Savage Mode 1?
Yes, there is.
Oh,
And guess who's on both? Morgan motherfucking Freeman.
literally about to say that because you've told me it every single
It's
time.
just so insane. Like, why is he on
I
that?
mean, wait, what was it that I saw that like surprised me that I saw? Oh, like the in a Weekend album, there was like someone, was it the Weekend? I don't remember, but it was like there was like a speaker in the Weekend album that I was like, what the fuck? Like that's so
Oh, I don't
surprising.
know. But did you hear Kali Uchis is pregnant?
Yeah.
Insane.
Oh, Jim Carrey.
Oh, yes, 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 yes. I've
Yeah.
heard it. I've heard it.
I didn't even know about that. The thing is, I've never listened to a Weekend album like
For
completely
real.
like yeah, like together. I just
So are you doing that now? Like listening to The Weeknd?
I haven't yet. I mean, I've listened to The Weekend. Like, I have some albums saved, but I mean, some music saved, but
Songs.
it's not like consecutively. But I need to because now with that new album, like, I gotta listen to everything beforehand. It's like,
I also heavily recommend. Wait, let me find the name of his album. It's The Weeknd. I'm just trying to remember because two of them came out like at the same time because of
Dawn
COVID.
FM.
Yeah.
There's
Okay, After Hours is the one I really liked, and then Dawn FM is also really fire. Like those
Dawn
two.
FM is like the old one,
No, Dawn FM is the one that came out in 2022, and then
the one
After
where he has blood
Hours.
on him.
No, that's After Hours.
So then which one's Dawn FM?
The blue one.
The old one.
No, it's
As
new.
in he is old in the picture.
Oh, okay, I guess, but it came out like it's one of his most recent ones.
Yes, but I
It's
meant old as in he is old.
yeah, no, definitely there was like a misunderstanding
Yeah.
there. Um,
But yeah, I haven't listened to either of them. But After Hours is pretty cheap on Amazon, like the CD, I'm pretty sure. I think it was that one. Because I was thinking of buying it, but it's pretty cheap.
that sounds
Um,
pretty good. My favorite song off After Hours is Faith. So when you give it a listen, listen to Faith and let me know. But like really listen. Like you have to
I might
like
have like heard it. Like I'm not sure.
you
I've
probably
I've
have,
listened to
yeah.
a couple. So
It's the one where it's like, I've lost my faith. I'm losing my
oh
religion
yeah.
every day. It's
Yeah, I like that
fire.
song.
Fire. Like
I probably have it added on.
he put crack on that one.
Yeah, I probably have it added in my playlist.
Okay. With that being said, I think we should conclude the first episode of the podcast. Do you want to say anything?
Thank you for watching. Hit subscribe and hit the like button and tell us what you want to see from the podcast.
You really like that was a really good performance for if I were to tell you to give a YouTube outro at gunpoint.
Oh, actually, that was what I was literally imagining. So funny when you say
No,
that. That's
like
what I
you
was
ate the
imagining.
performance, like it gave that for real.
I was like, there's an AR-15 pointed at my head right now. So like,
So better perform because it's life or death.
yeah.
Okay. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you here next week, I guess. Bye.
Bye.